What's it gonna be today on day 5? Stick around and find out. Kristen here with Enchanted Yarnworks. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today is, guess what? Day 5 of my Granny Square week. So every day this week, I have done a Granny Square for you guys in honor of today's the day, International Granny Square Day 2025. The day is finally here. So what's it going to be today? Do you think it's going to be the flower box or the regular Granny Square box? Go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you think. Make sure you are subscribed and the notification bell is dinged, and then definitely hit that like button so we can get the love today. So let's get started and see what our last square of the week is. Day 5. This is it. Today is officially Granny Square Day. Are y'all excited? I'm excited. So, what do you think is going to happen? Chime in. Tell me which deck you think we're going to use. Tell me what number you think we're going to get today or hope we're going to get today. These are the 4 we've done so far this week. If you have not seen my previous videos, they are linked below. By all means, when you are ready, I completely suggest you go ahead and check those videos out. They're pretty fun. It's super fun to see how these squares are made up and what they look like. So I encourage you to go check those out at your leisure. So here we are. Let's get started. I have 2 decks, the flower deck and the regular Granny Square card deck. I have my 4mm hook. I have my yarn needles with their tin. I laid out my numbers that we did already this week. I have my swatches of Stylecraft special DK weight yarn that I have in my cabinet. So we are ready to go. Go ahead and guess the number. Really kind of curious to see how close anybody is to picking the number that comes out. Again, I do have my blocking mats too. They're sitting over here waiting till the end so that we can block. But just a reminder and disclaimer, I am an Amazon associate. So if you decide to go through those links that I have down below and purchase something, again, thank you. But I may receive commission on any qualified purchases. So thank you if you decide to go that route. If you don't, that's okay too. All right, so let's get started. Pick our number. Tell me what number you think it's going to be. Curious. Absolutely curious. Alrighty. So I have in here 96 numbers. 2 sets of 50 minus the 4 that are here. 1 for each deck. The numbers without stars are for this deck. And the numbers that I drew stars on are for the flowers. Alright, so what's it going to be? Okay, here it is. Oh, sorry, it's not even in view. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, it won't open. Suspense drum roll. Oh my goodness, number 15 with a star. We're doing a flower 15. That's so funny. Okay. Let me put this aside so we can see what's in this lovely deck. I'm going to move this down just a little bit so I don't have to feel like I'm reaching all the way across the table. Okay, so if you have not been here before, I will go through the user guide real quick. So what's in here is conversion chart for UK to US terms. Everything on these card decks are written in US terms. They're going to be a 4-inch square using a 4mm hook and using a DK weight yarn. Claire Montgomery used a specific yarn, and these are the colors that she used for all of these. I am just going to use my Stylecraft Special DK because that's what I have an abundance of in that size and color. You can use whatever you like. And then we have stitch chart symbols, written directions on how to do specific stitches, teaching you how to read a stitch chart. I know that myself included, I forget sometimes and absolutely needed a refresher, so that was helpful. Tells you how to do 3D flowers if it's a 3D flower. I wonder if this is going to be a 3D flower today. I don't know. And then different ways to do the different squares and how to put it all together, choosing your colors, etc. So that's what's in here. I'm going to set this aside while I pull out my number. This is just a flyer for the other, to let you know there's another deck, in case you did not know. All right, so we're looking for number 15. So I'm just going to flip through like so you can kind of see what's in here. Okay, getting close. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, the dahlia. So we're going to be using special stitches. And joining this just talks about how to join other squares together, the best options. So we're going to use a pie cut stitch and a popcorn stitch. Okay, let me put that aside so I can put these away. And let's pick out color time. All right, let's see. So let me grab my colors here and we can choose what's going to be closest. You know, I could probably easily just go online and do a conversion chart, but this is more fun, I think. So we need 1, 2, 4 colors. So we need our center color here, which I think is more so the burgundy. It looks so different on camera than it does for me in person. Yeah, burgundy is it. Okay, and then our darker orange. I'm thinking actually just do these 3. No, I have other oranges down here. Thinking maybe tomato and spice. I like how that looks. What do you guys think? And then now we need a green. Okay, so I'm thinking of what I have. Khaki is probably the closest. Yep, khaki it's gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up and then I'm gonna grab my colors as I make so much noise to do this. Okay, grab my colors. Okie dokie, colors are here. So I have them all laid out. Alright, I think that's a little too much. So here's our burgundy. The tomato, however you want to say it. It's a very orange tomato, but okay. Spice, and then khaki. So if you're wondering what the heck is that on your cakes of yarn, well, here we go. So when I cake my yarn, especially when it's this skein of yarn or something of this size, this is how the Stylecraft comes. It's lovely, squishy. I discovered these wonderful thread saver sleeves. They're nylon and they stretch. They're fantastic. So I like to put them over my caked skeins because it keeps it all together. Keeps it nice and tight. I can put the label in there and see everything about it. And as I use each skein of yarn, you know, from the center pull, it gets smaller. Obviously, it gets smaller. So these kind of hold it and compact it and let it squeeze down. And I don't have to recake anything. I think I did a double with this one. It's pretty squishy big. But I like to use that. I have that linked below. If you're curious what yarn winder I use a Stanwood yarn winder. It is a larger size yarn winder. It is a manual one, so it's not electric. So you do have to wind it yourself, but it winds really fast, and it has a very large cone on it, so you can wind larger skeins, and you can wind up like the big chenilles and your bulkies and super bulkies. I want to show you how big I can wind a skein with it. So this cake right here, I think, is actually 2 skeins of Caron Simply Soft. I mean, if that gives you an idea. Pretty large size. And I love it. And then it's all together in one. Now, the thread saver won't go over these larger ones because it only has a specific circumference to stretch out to, and that's fine. But when it goes into a smaller size like these, it's perfect. All right, so let's get started. Let's see, we need to do, let me look so you guys can see. We're going to create our chain, and then we have single crochets, and it looks like we have the picket stitches up here in the tops of that. So that is where we are starting with our burgundy color. And what also is great is this shows you which directions you're moving. So this one we don't have a right and wrong side, we're not turning, but it's telling you to move in this direction for each of the pickets, pie cups, however you say it. So there we go. Okay, we're gonna get going here. Burgundy first. So we need a chain 4. Let me angle this a little better, so I don't feel like I have to reach across the table. There we go. So slip knot. All of these cards use the chain 4 to make a ring method opposed to the magic ring. I've read a lot that some people have trouble with the magic rings, and that's completely understandable, and sometimes they can come undone after a project's completed and in working condition. So that might be why this method was chosen. It's more secure and solid. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are slip stitching to the first chain, and here we go. So what I have to do first is single crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to mark this because sometimes when I come back around, it gets tricky to find the first one. And there we go. Cute little cat stitch markers. I can put those in the description too, in case you might want them for yourself. Okay, so 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we are slip stitching into the first, of course. And then now it's the pickup time. So we're going to, that is 3 chains, and then slip stitching into the first chain. Like so. And then coming over here, we're going to continue that all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to, because that is the end of this round and this color, I'm going to tie this off and weave these guys in. So give me 2 seconds. Okie dokie. Here's our center. Next up we have tomato, and we are going to be doing what looks like popcorn stitches. And it says right here where to connect, which is great. So it's, I guess, in between the first and second single crochet. Okay. I do love this one. Is very autumnal in color. I think it's perfect timing because here we are mid-August and the burn months are coming, which means fall is almost here. My favorite time of year. We love these colors. Absolutely love it. All right, so I'm going to connect here. And it says to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we are doing 4 double crochets to make the popcorn stitch. 2, 3, 4, and then we pull this out a little bit. Go back to our first stitch, the top of our first stitch. And then we grab that loop again at the end and then pull this through. There we go. And then chain 1. All done. Okay, so then we are chaining 2, then doing that again over here in our single crochet space. No, in between, excuse me, it's in between. And I'm going to make sure our little pickets are sticking forward. So we need to do 5 total double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here we go again. Go back to the first, loop this over, and chain 1. And then I'm gonna repeat. So I'll repeat this around and then I'll be back at the beginning. Okay, so I'm on the last popcorn of this round. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back to the first loop and then pull it through. Chain 1 and chain 2, and we are connecting over here to our first chain 3. There we go. Now I'm going to tie this off and weave it in, and then we will start the next color. Okay. It's looking pretty cute. All right. So I am using one of the tapestry needles, yarn needles that comes in the set in this lovely tin that I have linked below for you. Comes with 18 needles, and you get quite a few of these angled ones, but then there's some straight ones in there, I don't know if you can tell, and then some smaller straight ones like this guy right here. So it's pretty versatile. I love it. The tins have their own random decoration, so you don't know what you're going to get. The one that I was hoping to get was like an argyle pattern, but I got my little saltine cracker, and that's okay. I kind of love that little saltine cracker. So I'm just gonna weave this in and out a few times, and of course, say if you guys have watched my videos this week, this is why I don't thread the end of my needle first, because you see it just came out. I like to place my needle where I want it to go, and then I usually thread it, because then it is not coming out. It's there, and that's the way I work it. All right, just a couple times back and forth, and okay, well, one more. Got that one, and now the top. This one's kind of long, so I don't really, I'm not so worried about it coming undone. I know what I just said. Sometimes I don't make sense, and that's okay. If it's a shorter strand of yarn, then I usually definitely will put my yarn first and then thread my needle. So here we go. If you hear any noise in the background, my daughter and her friend are in the media room right next door, and they are watching Hamilton. So it's loud to me. I don't know if it's picking up on the microphone or not. So, all right, I'm just pulling these guys forward so they kind of stand out. Look at that, so cute. All right, so next color we have is our spice color, and it looks like we are doing these popcorn stitches again all the way around. So, and this tells you where to connect your color, which I love. And this says to connect it, can you see that? In right here in the chain 2 space. So that is what I'm going to do. I wonder where am I? Right there. Okay. So here we go. Right, and then we are chaining 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are doing 4 because that first chain 3 counts as a double crochet. 2, 3, 4. Now come back over here, pick up the top of the chain 3, loop, and then grab the end loop and loop it around and chain 1. Now I'm chaining 2 and then doing another popcorn in the same space. But this time we do 5 because we don't have the chain 3 in the beginning. Four and 5. Okay, and then chain 1. And then between we are doing 2 between. So this is what we're doing. So we're doing 2 in each previous chain's 2 space, and then 2 in between each one that's in said 2. So that's what I'm going to do all the way around, and then I will be back at the end. Okay, I'm on the last popcorn stitch. So we should have 16 total when I'm done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, one more. And then chain 2, and then connect over here. That's it. There's that row. Okay, so I'm going to tie this off, weave these in, and I'll be right back to do the last row. Okay, look how cute that is. I love it. Alrighty, next up we have the khaki color. Actually, I think I did this one backwards before when I was using it. That's okay. It'll work. So, what do we have to do? So we are connecting in the middle of a chain 2 between our 2 popcorn stitches and then chaining 3. It looks like we're doing the granny stitches all the way around with double crochets and treble crochets. Okay. So, starting with my slip knot, and here in between, yep, and then we chain 3, I said, and then 2 double crochets, and then chain 1, and then 2 double crochets over here in the next. I mean 3, not 2. Goodness gracious. Okay, chain 1, and then now we are starting our corners, so we need our treble crochets. And we're doing 3 of those. Everything's in 3s. These are the granny stitches. Granny cluster type stitches. Then our corner is a chain 3, and then a repeat in the same. Oh no, it's not a repeat in the same. It's going into the next one. Okay. Okay, then a chain 1, double crochets, back to another corner, back to double crochets, chain 1, and now the next corner, have y'all seen Hamilton? Sorry, it's playing in the background and I can hear it, and the music is pretty great. My daughter loves it, and she's back there singing, which is so fun. If you have seen it, it's the part where King George in the beginning comes and sings. I think it's one of her favorite characters. end songs in the whole musical. Okay, so now that corner's done. Double crochets again. Gosh, if she knew how many times I call her out on here about what she's doing down here, she'd probably be so embarrassed and hate me. Mother's prerogative, right? Okay, coming up on our last corner. Okay, last treble. And then a chain one, and then we are going to be slip stitching to the top of our chain 3 beginning here. And that's it. Okay, there it is. I will definitely weave that in, and I'm gonna definitely block this. But look at it, it's so pretty. Push these guys forward again. They want to hang out in the back, and that's not where they are supposed to be. Look at that. What do you think? So pretty. That would be a really cute, like, granny square sweater. For sure. Okay, let me get this done. Okay, there's the first one. Now this one requires that we do an invisible join, not join, yeah, join. I want to loosen this since I just tightened it up. Goodness gracious. Okay. So with the invisible, that's going to go there. So we have to go 2 ahead. Come back in here to this loop. And then we pull that loop over to this second one here. There it is. Now you can't tell. Oh, nice. Okay, so weave this guy in. Okay. Ta-da! Look at that. Now I'm going to block it. I'm going to show you the blocking mats. In case you haven't been here all week to see them. No judgments. We get here when we get here, right? I'm glad you're here today. Move things out of the way. Look at that. There we go. Pretty cute. So, blocking mats. Using up and out. Are these lovely little gems, okay? Knit IQ, I love them because they're versatile. They have multiple different styles, and you can build them as big as you need to. So if, I don't know what you would need to block that's huge, but if you got one, you got one. So this set comes with 9 matte little 1 foot size squares, and they all go together to make a 9 by 9 grid. In the middle of said grid is a huge circle. So if you have to block, if you're making something that's round, it's really nice because it lines up perfectly. These are in inches. They do make centimeter ones, which is great. And they also come with the T-pins. So I'm going to just take the top one because, you know, I'm doing one little 4-inch square and I don't need everything. Okay, so I'm just going to put it over here. As you can see, I could do at least 4 on here. But I just take my corner to that first corner there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. This corner here. Make sure I get it in the middle. There we go. And now I'm going to kind of, it doesn't look like it needs much more, but I'm going to do the centers here just because. All right, and then I like to lift it up off of the mat so that when I steam it with the iron, now I do this with any type of yarn, lifting it up. I don't know if that's a standard thing. I don't know, it's something I like to do. But you see there's that gap there. It's the airflow gap. Allows, so if I'm doing with cotton, you know, you get cotton wet and then it has to dry. Well, you definitely want to make sure you have airflow underneath so that it can dry properly. So I just kept doing that with everything. So with acrylic, which is this, I'm not going to press the iron on because that'll melt the yarn and the fibers. So I'm just going to steam hover over it, and then that will relax these fibers. Not that this looks like it needs much blocking, but it's pretty loose on its own. We'll see what it does. So there we are today, friends. I will have this also listed down below, as well as the past 4 videos this week. I'm excited you hung out with me. I'm going to get this blocked, and I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I will see you in a few minutes, and we'll talk about how exciting it is that today is official Granny Square Day, and we can chit chat. Tell me in the comments your favorite Granny Square, or what you did today or made today for a Granny Square Day, or what have you. So thanks for hanging out. I'll see you in a couple minutes. We're here. We're at the end. This is the end of Friday Granny Square Days video for Granny Squares. Let me tell you, I absolutely love this square. I showed it to my daughter because I always walk out of my room and she's kind of hanging around doing whatever, so I can go upstairs and get the iron and block my squares. And she was like, I absolutely love that one. And what did she say to me? She said something. I think she wants me to make her a whole Granny Square flower blanket. I think that's what she said to me. I told her in time, I have to finish your other Granny Square project, which is Granny Square heart pants. I started these, I think, in November, and then I just need to get them put together. If you know, you know. Like, how many whips do we have that are incomplete? Anyways, I digress. So let's do a recap this week, guys. So day 1 was this super cute from box 1. As I drop it. Day 2 was our first in the flower box. So pretty and simple. I absolutely love it. Day 3 was our quarters out of the regular box. Day 4 was a poppy out of the flower box. And today is our dahlia in beautiful autumn colors, which is quite just in time as we're getting through August and the Burr months are coming, right? So I love these colors. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So what should I do with all of these Granny Squares? I mean, they're so different. They have different color palettes, generally speaking. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. What should I do? Today is the last day that I had scheduled to do something. I don't know. I might be inspired to do another video tomorrow. We'll see. Make sure you're subscribed and you have that notification bell clicked so that if my video does come out, you'll be the first to know and you'll be right up there with it. So thanks so much for joining me today. And I hope that you've enjoyed this whole week of granny squares. I know I have. Are you inspired to create something with them? Or just to get your own squares and make whatever, or your boxes? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of inspired. Obviously, my daughter wants me to make her a flower blanket of all flower squares. And, you know, I have that whole box from Claire Montgomery of 50 different granny square flowers, which I think eventually I'm going to get through all of them and it'll be lots of fun. So again, thanks for joining me. I had a good time. Happy Granny Square Day, and I will see you in my next video.